At the beginning of the story, we meet a man named Dante. One morning, he wakes up and sees that his wife is 7 months pregnant. Dante is completely stunned. He can't understand what's happening, because just yesterday, everything was perfectly normal on his birthday. Confused, he checks the date, and realizes an entire year has passed. Today is his next birthday. At first, Dante convinces himself it has to be some kind of illusion. He takes a cold shower, then lies back down for a while, hoping that when he wakes up again, everything will be normal. After resting for a bit, he walks out of the bedroom and notices something shocking. Alice's pregnant belly is gone. Dante smiles with relief. Thank God, it was just a dream. He tells Alice everything, and she laughs. Good. Because I definitely don't want to get pregnant again so soon. But suddenly, they hear a baby crying from the living room. Dante slowly walks toward the crib, and sees a little baby girl inside. Alice gently picks up the baby, smiles warmly, wishes Dante a happy birthday, and places the child in his arms. Dante stands there in complete shock. In what felt like only 2 days to him, he had somehow become a father. Awkwardly holding the baby at a distance, he has no idea what to do. But Dante's life hadn't always moved this fast. Not too long ago, his life was completely normal, just like everyone else's. We then see Dante rushing toward a New Year's party, desperate to reach his fiancée before midnight arrives. The New Year's countdown was almost over when Dante spotted his fiancée from behind. Excited, he rushed over, grabbed her, spun her around, and kissed her. But the moment he pulled back, his face went pale with fear. He had kissed the wrong woman. Honestly, it wasn't even entirely his fault. His fiancée and the other girl were dressed exactly alike. Unfortunately, his fiancée saw the whole thing. Furious, she slapped Dante and stormed off. Just like that, their relationship was over. Surprisingly, Dante didn't take it too hard. Later, Dante and Elise end up meeting the woman he accidentally kissed. As time passes, Dante and Elise begin living together. Then comes October 26, 2010, Dante's birthday. Alessa wakes him up wearing a beautiful gown, singing and dancing for him. She even makes him birthday pancakes. But Dante isn't enjoying the moment. Instead, he panics after realizing Alessa turned off the alarm he had carefully set for work. Now he's running seriously late. Dante hurriedly eats a few bites and rushes out of the house. When he finally reaches the office, he suddenly remembers something important. I have a huge meeting today, how could I forget? Meanwhile, back at home, Alessa relaxes while painting. Later that afternoon, she changes into a gorgeous dress and starts preparing for Dante's birthday party with her friends. She decorates the entire house beautifully. Then Dante calls her. He tells her he'll bring his father home with him after work. Dante tells her, I'm gonna have to stop by Dad's place. I had meetings during lunch, so I couldn't make it earlier. The truth was, Dante had promised he'd be home early. At his father's house, Dante hands him a package he had ordered for him. But he isn't in the mood to sit around listening to long stories, so he quickly says goodbye and leaves. Just as he's about to head home, he gets a call from the carpenter. The new bathroom door is finally ready. But there's a problem. If he doesn't pick it up today, he'll have to wait several more months. The door barely fits inside Dante's tiny car, but somehow, he manages to squeeze it in and starts driving home. Unfortunately, nothing seems to go right that day. Traffic is terrible, and every possible obstacle slows him down. By the time Dante finally gets home, it's already dark outside. As soon as he opens the door, all his friends jump out and surprise him with a birthday party. Everyone had been waiting for him. After greeting everyone for a bit, Dante excuses himself to install the bathroom door. While he's working on closing the bathroom door, one of his friends walks in and hands him a special gift. It's a pair of tickets to a roller coaster park for Dante's 40th birthday. When they were kids, both of them were too scared to ride roller coasters, even though they always wanted to. Now his friend wants them to finally fulfill that childhood dream together. But Dante refuses. I don't have time for stuff like that right now. Maybe in 10 years, when work slows down, I'll finally have some free time. Back at the party, Dante opens the rest of the gifts and spends some time with everyone. Then Alice hands him her gift. It was a painting Alice had made especially for Dante's birthday. Then the cake arrived. The candles were lit, everyone was smiling, and all eyes were on Dante. As he closed his eyes to make a wish, the only thing he wished for was for the whole night to end quickly. Then he blew out the candles. That night, Alice dressed up as a character from Dante's favorite movie. The moment Dante saw her, his mood completely changed. He pulled Alice into his arms, smiling with excitement, and turned off the lights. The next morning, Dante wakes up to the sound of his alarm. As he's leaving the bedroom, he hears Alice throwing up in the bathroom. At first, Dante assumes she probably drank too much the night before. But when he walks into the living room, something feels strange. The room looks different somehow, unfamiliar, almost like he doesn't recognize parts of his own life anymore. Then the story catches back up to where it began. One day, his wife suddenly becomes pregnant, and the very next day, they already have a baby girl. Still completely shocked, Dante asks, "What did we name her?" "Galadriel." Dante stares at Alice in confusion. "I don't even remember choosing that name." But Alice explains that he was actually the one who picked it when their daughter was born. Now Dante becomes seriously disturbed. He starts believing something is deeply wrong with him, like he's slowly losing his mind. Desperate for answers, he goes to see a doctor. But the doctor calmly explains everything to him. The test results came back completely normal. Dante was perfectly healthy. At first, Dante feared he might have Alzheimer's, just like his father. Lately, he had been forgetting everything. But the doctor reassures him that the disease isn't hereditary in that way. "You're probably just stressed. Nothing more." The doctor advises him to get some rest and spend more time with his family. Disappointed and still confused, Dante returns home. A little later, Alessa is trying to paint, but the baby's nonstop crying pushes her over the edge. Frustrated, she yells at Dante. "Is this child only mine? Why aren't you helping take care of her?" Dante immediately walks over to his daughter and gently rocks her until she falls asleep. After a while, he heads to the bathroom to splash some water on his face and clear his mind. But the moment he looks into the mirror, his expression freezes. He rushes to the kitchen and checks the calendar. October 26, 2013. His birthday had come around again. Terrified, Dante decides he's finally going to tell Alessa the truth. But the second he starts talking, Alessa completely misunderstands him. She thinks Dante is talking about their relationship, like he wants to leave her. Dante tries to explain himself, but everything comes out wrong, and she takes it the wrong way. Dante leaves for work. Before he goes, Alessa tells him that Galadriel is outside playing, and that he should say goodbye to her first. For a moment, Dante doesn't even understand who she's talking about. But when he steps outside, he sees a little girl walking around on her own. His daughter. Dante freezes in shock. Then Galadriel looks at him and says, "Papa." Dante's eyes light up with emotion. "She called me Papa, did you hear that? She called me Papa." Alessa walks outside and looks at him, confused. "What are you talking about? She's been calling you Papa for a long time." But to Dante, all of this still feels unreal, like he's trapped inside some strange dream. Later, he goes to the park and tells everything to his childhood friend, Valerio. "For the last 3 years, I've only lived through 3 days. I even went to the doctor, but they couldn't find anything wrong with me." Valerio listens carefully, but he doesn't believe it either. He tells Dante to calm down and talk things through with Alessa. "I heard you two are even planning to see a therapist." Dante is stunned hearing that. After that conversation, he decides he's going to quit his job. Maybe if he stops working all the time, he can finally save his family. Determined, Dante heads straight to his boss's office to hand in his resignation. But when he knocks on the door and walks inside, the chair is completely empty. The boss wasn't there. Confused, Dante walks back outside and asks everyone, "Where's the director?" The entire office suddenly starts laughing. Dante turns around and sees his own name written on the office door. Somehow, he had become the director himself. Completely shocked, Dante calls Francesca. She explains that he was promoted 8 months earlier after the previous director retired. "You seriously don't remember? After everything you've done for this company?" Dante remembers none of it. Still overwhelmed, he tells Francesca that he's planning to resign. But Francesca quickly reminds him of everything that comes with the position. The salary, the benefits, the insurance for your family, with all the stress you're already dealing with, where else are you gonna find this? That finally makes Dante realize something painful. The only reason he kept staying at this job was for his family. Then he learns something else shocking. Francesca had gotten married to another man from the office, and Dante himself had signed off on their honeymoon vacation. Hearing that leaves him speechless. A little while later, the employees bring out a huge cake for him. As Dante leaves the office, he notices something else has changed. He's no longer driving his old cheap car. Now he's driving an expensive Lexus. Suddenly, Alice calls him. "I'm waiting for you at the therapist's office." Dante quickly responds, "I remember everything. I just forgot the address. Tell me where it is." "I'm close by." At the therapist's office, Dante insists that nothing is wrong with him. How could there be? For him, it had only been 3 days. But for Alessa, 3 entire years had passed. Alessa finally opens up about everything that's been hurting her. She says Dante never spends time with his family anymore. He's constantly buried in office work. Sometimes, he doesn't even come home and just sleeps at the office instead. Hearing all of this starts irritating Dante. On the drive back home, he snaps at her. "I work myself to death for this family so you can stay home and paint comfortably." The words hit Alessa hard. She says nothing back, but the hurt is clearly visible in her eyes. A little later, Alessa quietly leaves to run some errands. Dante walks through the house alone. Toys are scattered everywhere. Family photos sit on the table. He opens the fridge, grabs a beer, takes a sip, then puts it back. As he's closing the fridge door, he suddenly notices something terrifying. One of the family photos is missing. There's no sign of his daughter anywhere. Panicking, Dante immediately calls Alessa. But she calmly reminds him of something he had completely forgotten. They had already decided to separate for a while. The realization hits Dante like a truck. Now he finally understands how badly their relationship had fallen apart. And for the first time, Dante breaks down crying. Dante calls Alessa and breaks down emotionally. "I need you. I love you." Desperate, he asks for her address. Alessa gently tells him, "I'm dropping Galadriel off at dance class first, then I'll come see you." She hangs up. But only moments later, another phone call comes in. It's from the nursing home. The staff tells Dante that his sick father is sitting on the edge of a balcony and threatening to jump. Terrified, Dante rushes there immediately. He runs upstairs and finds his father sitting dangerously on the railing. After an emotional conversation, Dante somehow manages to calm him down and pull him back to safety. Later, Dante returns home, still shaken. Inside, Francesca is cooking in the kitchen. Dante absent-mindedly wishes her a happy birthday and kisses her. That's when he learns the truth. After her marriage quickly fell apart, the two of them had secretly been having an affair for the past 6 months. Dante is horrified. He can't even understand when or how his life reached this point. Suddenly, the doorbell rings. Alice has arrived. Panicking, Dante quickly tells Francesca to hide in the bathroom. He says he needs to talk to Alessa alone and doesn't want her finding out anything. Dante opens the door. Softly, Alessa says, "I missed you, and you know my solo art show is finally happening." As they continue talking, Dante becomes emotional again. "I still love you." Alessa quietly fights back tears. "So do I." But then her eyes suddenly land on a pair of women's heels lying near the table. She realizes everything in that instant. It all clicks. And she explodes. Not just at Dante, but at herself, at the situation, at everything. She storms out, furious and broken. After she leaves, a devastated Dante ends things with Francesca too. He tells her clearly that she should never come back. Don't come again. Francesca leaves in anger. But just as the door closes, a voice echoes from the living room. Dante turns around. Francesca is standing there again, holding 2 cocktail glasses she had prepared for his birthday. Dante loses his temper completely. This is all wrong. This isn't how a boss and secretary are supposed to be. Francesca fires back, just as angry. You were the one who started all of this. Then she says coldly, I'm done. I'm leaving. I'll find someone way better than you. And she walks out for good. After she's gone, Dante calls everyone from the party and asks them to leave, even though he barely knows most of them. The only familiar face left is his childhood friend, Valerio. Soon, the house is empty. Dante sits with Valerio and starts asking him about Alessa. He opens up about everything, and then mentions something strange. On his 40th birthday, he made a wish that everything would get fixed quickly. And that's when, according to him, everything started falling apart. Meanwhile, Valerio also seems deeply unsettled with his own life. He isn't doing well at work either. He was neither successful nor had a family or children. He had turned to alcohol for comfort, but even that never really eased the pain. Then he remembered the birthday gift he had once given Dante, the roller coaster tickets they never used. Now Dante suddenly gets up and goes to see Alessa, asking her to come back. But Alessa refuses. She says, every year on your birthday, you say the same thing. And then nothing changes for the rest of the year. I'm tired. We need to separate. She continues, life has to be lived. For years, I thought I was nothing without you. But things have changed. I'm not weak anymore. I've learned to live on my own. Alessa looks at him one last time. Happy birthday. And she closes the door. Dante completely breaks down. He starts banging on the door, crying. I thought I loved you, please, give me one more chance. But when the door opens again, it's not Alessa. It's a stranger. A man named Omar, Alessa's new boyfriend. Omar looks at Dante strangely, like he thinks Dante is joking or pretending not to recognize him, because they've apparently met many times before. Before Dante can process anything, he sees her. Galadriel. His daughter. Standing right there. She is now 5 years old. And Dante realizes something horrifying. He has only really lived through 3 days with her, but in reality, years have passed. He had never really met her in a normal way. And in those 3 days, 3 years had passed for him. Dante spends some time at the park with his daughter. When he asks her about life, she quietly tells him that her mother and Omar have been living together for quite a while. Then Dante looks at her and asks gently, what do you like? What don't you like? Tell me everything. She replies softly, I just want Dad to spend more time with me, not lost in his work, his phone, his computer, his job. After a short walk, Dante drops her back at home and runs into Omar again. A puppy comes up to Dante with a ball. Dante throws it a short distance, and the puppy runs after it happily. But when it comes back, the puppy has grown noticeably older. Dante slowly realizes what's happening. Time is slipping again. It feels like another full year has passed in seconds. His phone rings. It's Valerio. I've been waiting at the park for half an hour. Are you coming or not, man? During the call, Valerio also reveals that Alessa is still with Omar. She even posted photos online. Dante has no idea what Instagram even is. He still can't process that Alessa is actually with Omar. Valerio is confused. Are you okay? Did you take something? Because yesterday Omar was a great guy, and Alessa is with him now. Then Valerio mentions Alessa's art exhibition. Her paintings are getting a lot of attention. Dante immediately says, I need to see that exhibition right now. Hearing this, Valerio becomes even more confused, because just a few days ago, everything felt completely normal. He even wonders if it's just the morning confusion talking, since he woke up early and has been drinking. So he starts drinking. But then Dante notices something strange. Valerio is actually drinking juice. Dante smiles and says, Since when did you quit, brother? Valerio laughs softly. Ever since I was diagnosed with cancer. He explains that he only has 5 treatment sessions left, and after that, the doctors will decide if there's any chance of survival. Later, while walking through the park, Dante suddenly remembers those roller coaster tickets again. Something about them feels important now, like the right moment has finally come. But Valerio refuses. I'm not in any condition for that right now. Dante hugs him tightly before leaving and promises, I'll see you tomorrow. That night, Dante arrives at Alessa's art exhibition. As he walks through the gallery, he sees his entire life reflected in her paintings. It hits him deeply. Later, he returns home and starts going through old photos. For the first time, he feels it clearly, he needs to let go of Alessa. He knows it's time to change his life. After that, he goes to visit his father. Emotional, Dante breaks down and says, I never wanted to become like you my whole life, but somehow I made the same mistakes. His father looks confused and replies, I skipped school today. He says he went to the beach with a friend. Dante slowly realizes something is wrong, his father's condition is getting worse. He can no longer take care of himself properly. Suddenly, his father starts coughing violently. Dante rushes to get water. But when he comes back, the chair is empty. Everything is gone, packed into boxes. Another year has passed. And Dante is now left alone in the house. The first thing he did was call his friend Valerio. When there was no answer, panic set in. Dante feared the worst, that his friend was gone too. But a short while later, he finds Valerio alive and well. Relief washes over him as they hug each other tightly. When Dante sees the date and remembers his birthday, he says, Come on, brother, let's go on that roller coaster today. This time, neither of them hesitates. They head to the amusement park. The ride begins, and for the first time in a long time, they scream and laugh like kids again. But halfway through the ride, Dante suddenly blacks out. When he wakes up, his phone is flooded with messages from work. Valerio immediately drives him straight to the office. On the way, he calls Alessa. Dante tells her that she and their daughter can stay at his house tonight. Alessa reluctantly agrees. Once at the office, Dante makes it clear to everyone. He is taking all of his remaining vacation time. For the next 3 months and 4 days, no one is to contact him. Before leaving, Dante apologizes to Francesca. I treated you badly. I'm sorry. On the way home, Dante stops at an animal shelter and adopts a dog as a small gift for his daughter. When he gets home, he surprises his daughter with the puppy. He tells Alessa that today, the 3 of them will spend the entire day together. And they do. They paint, dress up in costumes, and play with the dog all day long. For the first time, it feels like a real family. Dante sits down with Galadriel and starts reading her a story. When he opens the book from his bag, he realizes it's actually a book Alessa wrote for their daughter. When the story ends, Dante hugs his daughter tightly. I'll always be here for you, he promises. The next morning, he wakes up, and the bed is empty. He walks outside and smiles as he sees Alessa, Galadriel, and the puppy in the kitchen. It is Dante's birthday again. They make pancakes together, quietly celebrating. That's when Dante realizes, a new day has finally arrived. The date has changed to October 27th. Alessa looks at him and asks if he's okay. Dante calmly says yes. After a pause, he finally tells the truth. I've been completely lost these past few years. I didn't know what I was doing. I can't get that time back, but I finally know what I need to do now. Alessa gently replies, nothing changes in a single day. Dante nods. People can change. I took 3 months and 4 days off, just for you guys. This time, things will be different. Trust me. If you like the video, please like and subscribe to the channel.